everyone, I'm so happy you're here today. We're going to be making this double layer pop-up card. Isn't it cute? And then look at this one. I made a windmill one and I made a Valentine's Day one. Adorable. Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to use this cute little van from the Driving By stamp set along with the Sale-a-Bration paper, which is the Sunshine and Rainbows. Both the stamp set and the designer paper are both from Sale-a-Bration, so you can earn those for free when you place a $50 order. And look how cute this card sets up. Don't you love it? And I got this idea from Iced Images, I believe her website is, her YouTube channel. And I originally had made it like hers, but I wanted it smaller, so I made it to fit into a standard size A2 envelope, which is your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch size card. Hers, I think, was 5 by 7. And so then when I condensed the size, I felt like it was a little front heavy, so it wouldn't sit up, as you can tell here. So it's not quite sitting up because I added the van and stuff. So it was really weird because my husband, he was looking at it and he just seriously just sat it up like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. So I went ahead and went with this design and it will fit into a regular size envelope. So that's like the best part. So let's go ahead and show you the other two that I made. So here's the windmill one. Very cute. Now it does fold shut like this. Now if you fold it like this, it will be a smidge too long, right? So you have to fold it back on itself like that, and then it will fit into a regular size envelope. So there's the windmill one, very cute. And then there's the van. And then here's the Valentine's Day one with the nuts and bolts stamp set and the Sweet Talk designer paper. And then another thing with this card is that it's giving you 3 looks at a designer paper, especially if it's like double-sided paper and you're just like don't want to cover up one side. So, and then you want to stamp on the back for your message, or you can sign back there. Okay, so once again, you're going to fold up the card like this to fit into a regular size envelope. All right, so let's go ahead and get started making this one. So this is the stamp set Driving By. It has a little VW bug and a little sports car. And then of course we're using the van. And then I'm using the happy birthday from another Sale-a-Bration item, which is the special moments. Okay, so let's get the pieces for today's card. I'm so excited. This card is like right up my alley. I love fun fold moving cards, pop up, you know, anything that's interactive. All right, so now there's 3 layers to the card. Let's put the designer paper aside first. I'm going to put these die cuts over here because this is what those go with. These are all the pieces for the card. Okay, so we're going to use basic white. Let's start there. So basic white, this piece is cut at 4 1/4 by 9 7/16. Now the 7/16 mark is the tiny mark right before the half. Okay, so 9 7/16 long by 4 1/4. We're going to score that together. Then this piece is cut at 3 by 8. We're going to score that. And then this piece is the center piece, which is the center of the pop-up card. This piece is cut at 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, now let's give the measurements to the designer paper. These are both cut at 4 1/8 by 4 3/8, I believe. Let me just double check here. 4 1/8. Yes, by 4 3/8. And you're going to need 2 of them. All right. And then for the front layer, which is this piece right here, this one with the van on there. This piece is cut at 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so if you have directional paper, make sure you're cutting it right. So it's 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, now these 2 pieces are optional. Let me show you where these are going to go. These are going to go on the bottom. So now when I originally made this card, it was going to go like this, remember? So on the Iced Images site, she has the edges right here measured out too. So I went ahead and did that. I mean, it's cute, but with the card sitting up, you really don't need to do the bottom sections, but I'm going to go ahead and give you those layers. So now this layer right here for this edge, this is cut at 7/8 by 2 7/8. And then the polka dotted piece that's going to go right here, this piece is cut at 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so no, those are totally optional. And then since we're using the basic white for the base, you won't need to add another layer to the back of the card. You can just stamp on that, all right? I just love this card. It's so cute. So now these die cuts, I use the daffodil and the basic white. Now this is what we're going to stamp our little van on. So now these are both cut out with the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I used the number 3 from the center, the smallest, for the basic white. And then the next size up for the daffodil layer right here, okay? So I used those, die cut those already, and I'm going to stamp on that with you, all right? So let's score our big base piece first. Let me open up my arm. All right, so with the 9 7/16 side across the top, yep, 9 7/16, we're going to score it at 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 7 1/2, and 8 1/2. All right, and then the 3 by 8 piece of basic white, let me make sure, yep, by 8. All right, we're going to score on the 8-inch side across the top. We're going to score this at 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's all the scoring. So we're going to grab our bone folder. We want to make these edges that we scored really nice and crisp. I'm just going to finger press them first, and then I'm going to go back through and burnish them all with my bone folder. All right, now we're going to grab some liquid glue, and I'm going to put liquid glue on this edge and also on this edge here, all right? Facing up, and we're going to add our liquid glue on this edge right here. And then we're just going to fold the back piece over and press that down so it adheres down really nicely. All right, so then your card should look like this with the little step on the side here. Can you see that? So this is what's going to make that setup so cute. We're going to do the exact same thing to this one. We're going to fold our center score line here with 2 sections here. And then this one is going to get the glue on there, and then fold that over just like that. And then once you glue that down, then go ahead and reinforce that fold so you get that nice crisp edge. Just like that. Okay, so now you have your 2 pieces that look like this. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add our designer paper. Now this piece I want to put in the back with the rainbow. Love that. I'm going to go ahead and put liquid glue on that and attach that designer paper. Now before we assemble the card, if you want to do any stamping onto the back side, this would be the time to do it. Okay, I'm going to add my happy birthday in just a second. I'm going to stamp my fan, and then I'm going to stamp my happy birthday on the back side. And then this piece is going to go on the front over here on this littler piece. We're going to add our adhesive to that piece of designer paper. Okay, then the polka dotted piece is going to go on the center piece. Now on the side that you want to add, so this is your 4 1/4 inch wide. On the bottom, it's going to be too big. So make sure you're putting your piece on the 4 1/4 on the 4 1/4 inch bottom piece. And the same goes with the designer paper. There's a certain way that the paper goes on, because if it doesn't, it's not going to sit right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach the designer paper. Okay, so we have all our pieces attached. Now we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. So let me grab my stamps. And I did already stamp the greeting, and it's the driving by just to say hi, and that's from the same stamp set. And then I have the happy birthday, which I'm going to go ahead and stamp the happy birthday now on that. So remember, if you want to add, like for instance, this one with the Valentine one, you don't have to actually stamp on the back. You can actually, you know, cut it out with the die or, you know, some other shape and add it to the back of the card. So you don't have to stamp the greeting right onto the back if you don't want to. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. I'm going to stamp it right in the center of the back. Okay, so there's happy birthday. Now we're going to grab our, I'm going to attempt to stamp this. Hopefully I can. So we're going to stamp the minivan on this piece of basic white. Okay, I'm going to center that and stamp that right in the center of the basic white. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, and then I would go ahead and stamp the driving by just to say hi on another piece of scrap basic white and then hand cut that out. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and color my van. Let me show you the colors I'm going to use for my van. I'm using the Daffodil Combo. This is the Daffodil Delight, the Highland Heather, and I'm also using the Pool Party Light, but this comes in a combo, so it's the Pool Party Combo, and then the Smoky Slate, and then the Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly color this in. Okay, so there's my van, and I also used the Smoky Slate for the tires, the dark around the tires, and then the center I used the Smoky Slate Light with the Smoky Slate Light for the ground, and then I also used the Pool Party inside of the windows a little bit as well as around the van. All right, so now let's go ahead and add this to our daffodil, but for my sample I went ahead and used the rainbow paper. Let me show you how I did that. I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal. Now this is my sample that I cut out, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm just going to add this, just a slight little edge for the rainbow, and I want a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo here at the edge, just like that. And we're going to cut that. Take my paper snips. We're going to cut this just with the slight little edge on the end and cut this Misty Moonlight color down just a smidge too. Okay, so then this is going to layer onto our daffodil just like that. Isn't that cute? We're going to use our Stampin' Seal for that. This onto the center of the daffodil just like that. And then we're going to take the greeting, which is right here. I'm going to pop that up on a dimensional. This is going to go right up here in the top left-hand corner, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add these pieces to the bottom of our card just to finish it off. So in case you want to do that, this is where those pieces go. I'm going to put that right down here. Okay. All right, so I think our card is all set to be attached. All right, so now we're going to take our middle piece here. That's the side we want to add our layer to. So I'm going to add this to this layer right here without the designer paper. Making sure the 4 1/4 lines up with this bottom edge. Just like that. With the liquid glue, you just got to hold it for just a couple seconds longer. All right, and then this piece, put our bottom section on with laying this section flat, and we're going to line that up with that score line right there. So we're going to line this up. Now you also want to keep this in the center too, so you're just going to eyeball it right in the center on your score line right here, and then just position that right in the center of this section right here. And then it should pop up, and then this piece should pop up. I'm just going to hold that just for a couple seconds longer just to make sure it's adhered down. Okay, so there's the card. Isn't it cute the way it sets up? I love it. All right, and we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. We're just going to put this right onto the front of our smaller section. Right here. That cute little van. And then you could also add some ribbon if you wanted to on the back side, and add some rhinestones, whatever. You could really gussy this up, but it's so cute the way it sets up. I love it. All right, let me show you the other ones really quick. Now here's the windmill one, and this windmill actually turns. It's just got a brad right there. It's so cute. And then on the background here, I added the clouds that are in this die collection. And then here's the Valentine's Day one with the nuts and bolts about you, with the little robots. So cute. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. Also, I have all the items listed down below. Then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, so if you liked today's video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you later. Bye.